And I'm going to cross this out here. And I'm going to bring my other red over here. Cross this out and put my red in. Can I still add some? Absolutely. All right, so now I'm going to get my green. And so I'm going to take this one green here, and it's like, okay, I'm going to move my arrow up here so I can better see it. Oops, went too far right here. That's where I want to go. So I'm going to shade in my green. Cross that out. Take my next one, and I'm going to place it here. Okay, and I'm done there. Put an X here. Up, and now I can just join this together and put it over here. I don't have to. I can, yes, I can leave it there. But I just kind of want to eliminate some things. So now I have one whole plus, and I have 8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. So my answer equals 1 4/8. However, what do I have here? If I have 4 on this side and 4 on that side, 4/8 is equivalent to what? You're so right. 1/2. Also, what do you notice? 4 and 8 are even. So I can slice those in half. So I can take half of 4 is 2. Now look at this. Half of 8 is 4. Are they still even numbers? Absolutely. So what are you going to do next? That's right. Half of 2 is 1. Half of 4 is 2. So look at your equivalent fractions. You now know that 4/8 is equivalent to 2/4, because you have your 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, which is also equivalent to 1 1/2. All right, so that's your model. Your equation then will be 3/8 of 4 equals, and I'm going to put my 1 automatically under here, and I'm going to go ahead and do 3 times 4 over 8 times 1 equals. 3 times 4 is 12. 8 times 1 is 8 equals, I know this means to divide. So I have 12 divided by 8, or 8 goes into 12. 1, 0. So here I'm going to have 1. Subtract this out. So 12 minus 8. I know that I'm 4 away from there. 8 plus 4 is 12. I'm 4 away. So my remainder, this is my remainder, now becomes my new numerator, my new n numerator. So I have my whole number. I have my divisor, which is now my denominator, still, because that never changes. So I have 1 4/8. Is this what we had before? Absolutely. So now, again, I have even numbers, so I can take half of those. So I have 1 2/4. They're still even, and I can continue to simplify it to its lowest term, and it's 1 1/2, and that is my answer. Now, keep in mind that on any test, especially those benchmarks in STAR, and STAR is really good at it, you may see this kind of answer, and you may not see it in its lowest simplified form. And that's okay, because that's still the correct answer. So just be aware of that, because they're wanting to know, do you know the equivalent fractions? Okay, so now that was number 2. Let's go to question number 3, and we're almost there. Question number 3 is 1/8 times 3. 1/8 of 3, so we're having times 3. What is 1/8 of 3? So Again, I'm going to have 3 boxes. You can do it like this. Today, some of you saw it better when you did it like this. So that's your choice. You can do it this way or this way. The important thing is, do you have 1, 2, 3 holes? 1, 2, 3 holes. Absolutely. My denominator tells me how many total pieces I'm going to have in each hole. So I'm going to have 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Again, you can do it this way. This is just an example, or I don't want you to get confused. I'm going to keep it like this. You did it that way, you can put in your 8 parts. Now, how many am I going to shade in? Yes, you're right. I'm going to only shade in 1. So I'm going to take, oops, that was a fast one. Shade in my 1. So I have 1/8 of 1. I have 1/8 of 2. And I have 1/8 of 3. Now I'm going to bring this over here. Shade that part in. Cross that out, and I'm done. I'm going to bring this one over here. Cross this out, and shade in my purple. So how many total 8s do I have? 1, 2, 3. Yay! So this equals 3/8. All right, let's prove it in our equation, because it'll be the same thing if you did it here. So I'm not going to work out that. If this is more comfortable for you, that's fine. So my equation is 1/8 of 3, and I put my 1 equals 1 times 3 over, because I'm just numerator times your numerator, denominator times your denominator. 8 times 1 equals 3/8. Is that what you got up here? Yep. So your answer is correct. Easy peasy. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Number 4. I have 2/5 of 3. Remember 3 in the of. I'm kind of emphasize that when you see of for math, in an equation, it means to multiply, because you have 3 groups of. Here you have 2/5 groups of 3. So here I'm going to draw out. I'll do it this way this time. 2, 3. So for my friends who liked it this way, I'll do it this way. And now my denominator tells me how many groups, individual groups I'm going to have for each hole, because this is my hole. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not even. I don't feel very comfortable, so I'm going to scratch that part out. I'm going to actually just start over there. Sorry about that. So I have 2/5 of 3. And so my 3 is my number of holes. It's 1, 2, and 3. My denominator tells me how many pieces I'm having in each hole. So it's hashtag hole. Total, not whole, but total number, total parts. Hashtag total parts is what it should be. I'm learning all this new jive stuff, new language. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. Now it says that for each hole, I'm going to shade in 2/5, because my numerator tells me how many I'm going to shade in. So here I'm shading in 2 of the 5. Here I'm going to shade in 2 of the 5. And here I'm shading in 2 of the 5. Okay? So I have 2/5 of one hole, 2/5 of 2 holes, 2/5 of 3 holes. Okay? Now let's move them up. So I'm going to take this bottom one and I'm going to move it right up here. Magic. And I'm going to cross this out. I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to move it right over here. And I'm going to cross this one out and I'm done there. Do I still have room? Yes, I do. So I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to move it right here. So I'm going to shade in this green and then I'm going to cross this out. Okay, so how many holes do I have? I have 1 hole plus, what is the value of this one here? Well, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I have 1/5. So 1 plus 1/5, and my answer equals 1 1/5. Let's check our work to see if we're correct. So my equation is then 2/5 times 3 equals, okay, so now I'm going to make that into a fractional part. So I have 2/5 times 3/1. I'm combining those. So 3 times 2 equals 6. 5 times 1 equals 5. This means divide. And so 6 divided by 5 would be 5 goes into 6. 1 times 5 equals 5. Subtract that out, and I have my 1 left over, which is my remainder. So I have my 1 whole. My remainder now becomes my new numerator, my new n, and my denominator stays the same. And does this come out 1 1/5? Absolutely. Very good. All right, way to go. Last one. And that one, for number 5, is 5/9 times 7. And some of you were kind of skeptical about this one because you're like, we've never worked with the 9s before. But if you have your denominator says that there's 9 equal parts in the whole, would it make any difference? You're absolutely right. No, it's not going to make any difference because you already know the meaning of a denominator. So if I'm going to take 5/9 of 7 full holes or 7 holes, I'm going to have my 1. I'm just going to kind of make them a little longer. 2. I'm going to draw it this way. If you draw it the other way, that's fine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is my 7 holes because I'm taking 5/9 of each hole. So I have 7 holes. Okay? My denominator again tells me how many parts I have in each hole. So I have 9, 1 9, 2 9, 3 9, 4 9, 5 9, 6 9, 7 9, 8 8, 9 9. So it's okay. I'm going to do that for all of them. Go ahead and do that. Oh, I heard somebody said I can just get a ruler and draw your lines down. That's a really great idea.